All right, joining us here in the Media Center at Virginia Motorsports Park here at the Play NHRA Virginia Nationals is Bob Tasca III, your number one qualifier in funny car. Bob went 4:02.4 at 320 miles an hour, getting his first number one of the season, 17th in his career, getting it over Chad Green on speed. And Bob, I can't imagine you would have any complaints about how this car ran today. 3 stellar runs, picked it up in that last session to go number one. You got to be thrilled with just how today went in general.
Yeah, well, I was pretty pissed off leaving Bristol, I can tell you that much. That's not how our team should be running. We had, since winning Las Vegas, we just fell off as the tracks got warmer. I tried to put a V6 in it between then and now, didn't have enough time to figure that out. So we went to the junk pile. I mean, that's no BS. We just grabbed heads out of a junk pile that we weren't going to run. We put a blower on the car that we literally couldn't sell this off-season. It was just garbage. And that's what I told them to do. I said, just go put the worst parts we own on the race car because you can't fix it with clutch. The car makes too much power with the I call it the 341-mile-an-hour setup, and we couldn't tame it. They just couldn't do it. I mean, it's not lack of effort. They worked really hard trying to do it. It was just too unpredictable. It would smoke the tires when it shouldn't. So I don't know. Maybe we pulled 2,000 horsepower away from it. I have no idea how much we did. But clearly they made the right call. So hats off to Todd and Aaron. They worked real hard this last week off to put a package together that was totally different than anything we've run. And it just went down the racetrack. And that's what we needed to do. And that's what you're going to need to do to survive. I've always said the season's 3 parts. Yep. The guys that can throw down early, which clearly we did. The guys that can survive the summer, and I don't want to survive it. I want to thrive in it. And then you got to throw down again in the fall. Mm-hmm. And clearly we have the combination. But this is, the hottest racetrack that I've ever been down in my life. And we just ran 320 miles per hour on it with the worst parts that I own. So I'm pretty happy.
You talked about surviving but also thriving in the middle of the summer. Obviously, the countdown is where you want to be peaking and doing well. But how important is it to kind of be building up, whether it's momentum, whether it's good vibes, whether it's just points position in the summer
No, it's critical. It's absolutely critical. I mean, I couldn't stand it. Like leaving Bristol, I was out of my mind. We just didn't have a car that could make, never mind 3 runs in a row. It could make 2 runs in a row. We made 3 runs in a row. You could have taken that car down a dirt track. We weren't trying to run. We just were trying to run like an 02, 03. I thought that someone would run a 98. I thought it was good enough to run a 98. I think we could have run a 98 if we had another shot at it. But that's the kind of setup you need for the next 5 races to go try to knock down a couple of wins, which clearly we're focused on doing. And then, conditions will get good again. And trust me, I'm not throwing away any of those parts. So I know how to put that combination back together again. But I'm happy with the decision making. It goes to show the character of this team. We're not going to accept mediocrity at any level. And if we went backwards this weekend, I was okay with it. But I wasn't coming here with the same setup that we've been running the last couple of races.
Obviously, on a track like this, the tires can pull loose at any point. Now, with three straight 4-0 runs, do you have the confidence tomorrow that'll make you a better driver?
Yeah, no, and you can't see the data, but if you could see it, it was absolutely like glass. It made me laugh. I think Austin said you could have had a sandwich, I think, at 600 feet. I was ready to make a hands-free cell phone call. Like, I want to see if we can put it in the car because it's so slow. It's hard to explain. It's like, are you kidding? Like, are we going to get there today? But that's what you have to do out here, to go out here and run strong. But the difference between a 402 and a 382 is, like, I can't even explain. It's an out-of-body experience different. That's how different it is.
Even 320 to 340?
Oh, I can't even explain the difference. Like, it's that much difference in the car, the compression, the G-force, the acceleration rate. It's literally like you could go have I was actually driving it out there at the top end. I actually overdrove it a little bit. I'm like trying to, just have some fun with it, honestly.
2 parts to this question. The 3 qualifiers today, right? But then again, the lack of data for tomorrow when it's going to go late. So talk to both parts. Do you like this format? And then tomorrow.
Yeah, well, first off, I love the format. I mean, I felt bad for the fans. I mean, this place was packed Q1, and then it got real hot all day. But you saw pro cars on the track all day long, action-packed. The teams are pumped up. The drivers are back in. And I disagree a little bit on the conditions because I think E1 will be very similar to what we just saw, okay? And then the run Q2 is going to be like E2, E3. I mean, you're going to see potentially 150-degree track. So I think the format's awesome. I think it gives us some bandwidth through the day to compare to what we're going to do on Sunday. I don't think it's right for all markets, but I think there's a lot of markets that should take notice of what we did because we gave the fans more nitro racing than they've ever seen since Bradenton, number one. And it's a little bit more condensed than the 3-day race. So I'm hopeful that this actually gets some traction to some other races.
Bob, hot weather conditions going to be like this. We're in the middle of the summer. Clearly, this number one qualifying position shows that you can do it, but eliminations is a different story. So what's it going to take to manage the track in conditions like this all day long and bring home a win?
You know, I think to bring home a win, you got to go down the racetrack. And you saw, we got the fastest car in the world. We didn't do so hot the last 3 races. If you don't go down the racetrack, you're going to lose. Anyone out here is going to beat you. So you have to go down the racetrack. You have to have good decision-making. But it makes it a whole lot easier to make those decisions, Joe, when you have a day like you had today. Because we can fall back on a baseline. We look at tire temperature. So we know, was it on the edge? Was it not on the edge? Can we push? Can we not push? So you have to pick your moments. Depending on who you're racing, you're going to push or you're going to go down the racetrack. And Todd and Aaron know how to do that. And I'm just happy for them. They made a lot of big changes. It could have backfired on them. It didn't. We made a statement out here in the heat, and now we got to do it tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Good luck tomorrow.